down is here for you. So if you need to either ingest some fluids or get rid of some fluids, now is the time to do it. Be starting in 52 seconds. All is well. You know me and technology, so let's make sure everything is working. If you could just go to your Q&A box and type in, yes, you can hear me, I would so greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Eschenberg. Okay, good. Glad to hear, glad to hear. All right, great. Well, we've got quite the international audience today. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully I don't sound nervous because, well, I'm not. But if you are here for the How to Raise Your Prices Without Losing a Single Client, not one, you are in the right place. And if you aren't here for that, well, hey, you know what? Hang around, stick around. This could be fun for you. All right, so my name is Vance Morris, and I'm going to really take some time today to go through what it takes to raise your prices. A few quick points. No, I am not running for office. Everybody keeps telling me this looks like a great political ad. It just happened to be shot at a really big auditorium I was presenting in, and I thought it was a cool shot. So if I happen to run for office, I'll probably use it. So a few quick points. I talk fast. So good news is I will put up a replay of this. If you miss anything, I got a lot of content to get through, and I just tend to talk really fast. So over the next 38 minutes, I'm going to share with you exactly how to raise your prices without losing a client. And there are really 4 systems that make up this promise, the promise of not losing a client and being able to get more money. And you're going to be able to outmarket, outmaneuver, and outprice your competition in this economy, and dare I say, increase your profits 50% in the next 12 months. Can I get I'm not much of a preacher, but can I get an amen in the Q&A if you want to increase your profits in the next 12 months? You want to get an amen? Thank you, sir, Richard Terry. Very good to see you. My fellow brother in technology world. He's a great guy. All right, great. Anonymous. How did we get an anonymous attendee? I don't know. All right, so moving on. This is perfect for you if you have ever thought, well, here's what you might be thinking is you want to keep your customers longer. See, that's where all the money is. The money is in keeping your customers, not always going out and getting new ones. You want to get more money from them. Don't we all? Disney is a master at extracting money from people's wallets and leaving them feeling happy about it. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. Now, this isn't shyster or, some kind of flim flam. This is showing you how to extract maximum dollars from your clients for the service or product that you deliver and leaving them ecstatic, happy, and asking for more. I'm going to show you how to increase your profitability, and we're going to do this all without working harder. Wouldn't that be great? Because at the end of this, you're going to go, at the end of the 38 minutes, you're going to go, holy crap, I can make 50% more profit this year without working harder. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, you have to have a big why. Why are you in business? Why are you doing what you're doing? If your why is not strong enough, you're going to have a really hard time with this. So this is my family last Thanksgiving. No, we did not plan the flannel look. Just so happened that they all did that. So yes, I have 4 children, ages 23 to 15. And that is my darling bride there, Gina, in the center, who always looks a hell of a lot happier than I do. Don't know how that works. So about me real quick. I did work for the mouse for 10 years. I worked down at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And this is where I really cut my teeth on creating experiences and really observing how Disney does it, how they get 80,000 employees all singing the same song, dancing the same dance, and literally through their systems, creating individual experiences for every individual guest there. Now, yes, people do leave Disney. I've heard that question 1,000 times. Oh my God, how could you leave there? Well, I think towards the end there, I realized I would probably be better in business for myself than working for someone. So after a decade, I decided to move on. And I went all the way from Orlando to Boston. And then from Boston, I moved to Baltimore and had a few different corporate muckety-muck jobs. I was a regional manager for a food service company, a regional guy for a restaurant company. And I realized that, there's a lot of dumb people out there. And unfortunately, a few of them ended up being my bosses. My last move was to this little itty bitty part of Maryland called the Eastern Shore. We have more chickens and cows and cornfields than we do people. So yes, it is very rural. The reason I tell you this is I moved over here to buy a business and it crapped out. So I got another one of those 3-letter words called a job. And I realized that I was miserable being an employee and I got fired. Now, I like to say I was laid off, but I was fired. And it was the best thing that possibly could have happened to me was getting fired. You see, I realized, and maybe a lot of you can relate to this as well, is that I make a very lousy employee. I don't like being told what to do, especially by those really dumb people that happen to be my boss. So I said, you know what? Now's the time. I'm going to do what every small child dreams of doing when they're growing up. I started a carpet cleaning business. Now, before you chuckle, before you go, let me tell you a little something about this carpet cleaning business. Everything that I'm about to tell you, everything that I teach about experiences, about how to get customers, how to keep customers, I implemented in a carpet cleaning business. So if I can do it in a carpet cleaning business, you can do it in any business under the sun. You'll notice here, aside from that gorgeous physique of mine next to this van, that I am part of a franchise. Well, I was, no longer. The problem with the franchise was that their marketing sucked. That was the biggest problem. The corporate office had terrible marketing assets. They were all based off of coupon clipping and who can have the lowest price. This is a recipe for disaster. And all their marketing did was get me cleaning rat nasty houses in questionable neighborhoods. So I was like, this has got to change. And the day it happened, I still remember this vividly. I was sitting in my carpet cleaning van with a half-eaten Big Mac in the seat next to me and a truckload of dirty, nasty, urine-infested wastewater in the tank right behind my seat. And I asked myself, Self, how did you get here? You're smarter than this. Enough is enough. So finally, I had enough. I needed to jumpstart the business and make a strong showing, or I was going to pack it in. So I went and found the best marketing mind in the business, who at the time was Joe Polish. Only problem with Joe was his program was $2,000. And I didn't have $2,000. But he was holding this special mini boot camp about a 5-hour drive from me, and it was free. So I decided to go to this event. Whoa, what an experience. That single meeting changed everything for me. I learned more in 12 hours about marketing than I had learned in the last 4 years. I knew at the end of it, he was going to try and sell me something. There was going to be some big sales pitch at the end. But I had already made up my mind, whatever he was selling, I was going to buy. I would find a way. Oh, and by the way, if you think I'm going to try to sell you something at the end of this webinar, relax, put your credit card away. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to try and sell you anything at the end of this. So you're going to get all good content, actionable items that you can take and implement right away. I do have an offer for you, but it's not anything that you got to buy. So just chill. Okay. So what did I do? How did I go from a struggling, broken, bankrupt carpet cleaner into one whose business ran on autopilot? Well, I massively implemented. And as you'll see as we go through the next few minutes, you'll see exactly what I did to implement. Massive implementation. I mean, I had new email campaigns, new newsletters, marketing and operations systems, price increase systems, working on the business instead of in the business, learning how to use joint ventures, learning how to use referral partners. Most importantly, getting rid of those coupon clipping cheapos. I was tired of those people. There's nothing worse than a coupon clipping cheapo. The ones that come from those coupon websites, they just suck you dry. I did not want to have anything to do with one of them. So if a guy who is bankrupt, nearly homeless, can make it to every single soccer game and ballet recital, which is what I was able to do, I was able to outwit and outsmart not only my competitors, but my own franchisor, living in an area of chicken houses and cornfields with 20 miles of farmland in between each town. And through my marketing and these experience systems, I can filter out all of the single wide trailers and only attract the affluent. If I can do that, you can do that. Now, what's really important, though, are the results I've helped get my customers and clients and patients through the systems that I'm about to show you. So my good friend, Dave Balfour, who owns a trucking company, was able to take his monthly revenue of $14,000 a year to an impressive $52,000 in just the first year of working with me, all by installing systems. Chris Harper, a fellow carpet cleaner, has worked with me, honestly, I think for like the last 11 or 12 years. He was like one of my first clients when I first started. And he has used the marketing systems that I have presented to really refocus his company and move it forward. And finally, Will Easton, who is a plumber, had a 37% increase from the previous year just by following the marketing and experience systems that I'm going to show you today. And just as a quick snapshot, I don't do this to brag. I do this for a little bit of street credibility with you. These are all of the kinds of businesses that I have worked with. You got restaurants, you got music academies, rocket ship builders, physical therapists, etc., attorneys and financial planners, even some federal government stuff. All right. So if what I'm going to tell you worked in a carpet cleaning business and worked in that trucker and that plumbing business, and it works in these businesses, trust me, your business is not different. It will work for you. So later on, like I said, I'm going to offer you a resource where you can easily implement these strategies. And I'm really here to help you. So on to raising your prices without losing one client. The first thing we're going to do before you can raise your price is you got to get a customer, right? You can't raise prices unless you got customers. So I'm going to show you that today. The next is you got to serve those customers, right? Finally, once you've got them, once you've served them, you got to keep them. So I'm going to give you those 3 strategies today. In addition, I'm going to show you how to raise your price and not lose any of those hard-earned customers that you just got. And it looks something like this. I mean, it's really, what do they call it? A flywheel. I call it my experience service system. Attract, nurture, deliver your product or service, keep your customers for life, systemize it, depending on your brand, and rinse and repeat. Repeat the process over and over. That is what systems are all about. Now let's talk a quick word about systems, all right? So Walt Disney, the original guy, Walt, studied the habits of his guests on a daily basis. There's a lesson in it for yourself. When was the last time you did just that? Study the habits of your current customers. You'll learn a lot, trust me. Anyway, back to the show. Just by watching, Walt determined how far a guest would go before he threw a piece of trash on the ground. All right. On average, it was between 22 and 26 steps, give or take. So he had his team install trash cans every 22 steps. Now, you might think about this as convenience, but it really isn't. It's about conveying expectations to the guests. This is a clean park. I expect you to keep it that way, is really what he was saying about those trash cans. And just like you see the small army of sweeper-uppers constantly running around Disney, tidying, brushing, and brooming, Disney is making sure you know certain things. Like, we value cleanliness, and we work hard at cleaning. You do not throw trash on the ground here. Look, a trash can. We expect you to use the trash cans. Look, another trash can, mere feet from you. So we want to really impose your expectations. And the first thing is, the first expectation you need to impose on your customers is that your customers or our customers refer. Our good customers refer often. Our best customers refer often and a lot. And if you haven't gathered it by now, referrals are expected. Now, of course, you're going to say this a little bit more eloquently than that, but this is the gist of it. You must convey your expectations to your clients, just like Walt did to his guests. So how do we do this? How do we impose these referral expectations? Look, you got to find really the one. Referrals are a highly profitable way to grow your business. They are literally new customers served up on a silver platter. Why? Well, if somebody is referred to you, they are not shopping around. They are less price sensitive, and most of the time, they are ready to buy now. The problem with many referrers is that they send you one friend every other year. Aunt Martha sends you her neighbor every 18, 24 months. And while we're certainly not going to turn these people away, it is nearly impossible to scale it. We want many referrals sent to us frequently. These are what I call power bases. Okay, some people call them centers of influence or referral sources or mavens. But people who can refer again and again over the years, I call them power bases. So let me give you a real world example. Say you're a home inspector, okay? A realtor would be the perfect power base for you because they can refer business to you again and again. Say you're a carpet cleaner. A maid service would be a great power base. So think about this for a second. Who in your world can be your power base? One that can refer again and again. Now, a little bit more about these power bases. You see, they are a trusted expert in a particular field, and they like to pass knowledge on to others. It makes them feel good, okay? These people already have a very large list of contacts, and these contacts consistently ask this power base to refer other businesses. Power bases are your major referral source. You need to find the people who would have a great list of your potential clients. Your power base will most likely be in an industry or geographically specific, okay? This is not your end user. This is not your end customer or client, but this is someone your prospects respect and trust. For a small business owner, referral sources can increase your business in a matter of a few conversations. Get to know the occupations that refer you the most. That's a writer downer there. So go and find who your power bases are. So with a referral marketing system, this is a network of power bases who will refer again and again. And it looks something like this, okay? My experience of coaching thousands of small business owners around the world tells me that most small business owners are missing out on a very big secret. This is how I have built my companies and how small businesses worldwide are having record sales and profits. The secret is this. Instead of chasing suspects, chasing after clients and prospects, nobody likes to be chased. So instead of doing that and spending so much time following up with individual people, invest your time building relationships with powerful resources, powerful referral sources, also known as power bases. Now, what I mean by a referral source is that company or professional that has a relationship with an unlimited supply of your perfect niche client. So again, another example for you is if you're a CPA and you get referrals from attorneys, then your power base might be law firms. Invest your time building relationships with attorneys who can refer an unlimited supply of your ideal client. What could this source of referrals mean to you? So step one is all about getting customers. You guys still with me? Can I get a few yeses in the Q&A box, please? Just drop a yes in there. I want to make sure I haven't lost anybody and we're still good to go. And while you're doing that, I'm going to grab a swig of water. Thank you very much, yeses. I certainly appreciate that. Ooh, that's a lot of yeses. All right, good to see. So now that we have customers, what in the hell do we do with them? Great question. I'm glad you asked. Now it's time to either serve your service or deliver your product. So I get the question a lot, which is why should you try to adapt Disney's processes? I mean, please put in the chat, and this is probably going to be a very quiet chat, but if you put it in the chat, do you own a roller coaster? Do you own a theme park? Or do you have a cast of characters that you can call on to do autographs all day? Probably not, right? So why in the world would we want to copy Disney? Honestly, Disney has so much in common with you. And we're not trying to copy them, by the way. We want to adapt their principles for our needs. So don't go along saying, but my business is different, because it ain't. You and Disney both want happy customers. You both want enthusiastic and engaged team members. You certainly both have competition, and you need to figure out a way to stand out from the crowd. We all have cost pressures. All inflation is just driving stuff nuts, right? And unless you are an oil cartel right now, everybody has got cost pressures, rising costs, and challenges with suppliers. You both make mistakes. Trust me, Disney makes big mistakes. They ain't as big as the mistakes we make. Like Disney's are in the multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. Ours might only have one comma in it. But you have to learn how to recover from them quickly. Not convinced yet? Let me tell you, people go to Disney because Disney creates emotional attachments. Disney's main business is to create memories. It's not about the theme parks or the rides. It's not about the $9 hot dogs or the water slide in the water parks. No, this is all about creating memories. I usually tell the very crass story of, grandma getting ready to die and the whole family, extended family, cousins and whatnot, all getting together at Disney. They plop grandma in a wheelchair and they wheel her all around the parks, taking pictures with grandma. Now, grandma is probably exhausted. She's probably ready to keel over anyway. But now all of those family members have memories of hanging with grandma. The problem is that other businesses have not tapped into that. SeaWorld hasn't done it. Universal hasn't done it. Six Flags has not done it. You've got to tap into people's emotions. So how do we do that? We do them through something called moments of truth. Okay. And any business can really use moments of truth to leverage and build your business. Now, moment of truth is defined as any time a customer comes into contact with any business, or any aspect of your business, however remote, and is an opportunity to form an impression. So your first moment of truth for a customer might be your website. Does it work? Is the video all glitchy? All right. Remember, first impressions. If you have a storefront, how does it look? How does it smell? What are the sights and sounds? This is the first moment of truth for your customer and your business. What's it gonna be? It's got to be incredibly as close to perfect as you can possibly get it. So Disney has many, many moments of truth. They actually have a MOT, just to abbreviate it, an MOT model that encourages employees to consider each moment to make the best impression to guests, which can bring customer service to a higher level. Okay, so this isn't something that, they take a class on. All right, this is a frame of mind. This is giving them the latitude to do what it takes to make a guest happy. The model makes the employees understand the importance of each small moment of truth. So during training, cast members, which are Disney employees, that's Disney's term for employees is cast members, are trained to greet customers with a smile when they meet the guest. When the cast member is closer to the guest, they are trained to greet them in words. If you've heard me talk before, this is my 5 and 10 rule. When somebody is within 10 feet of you, you do one thing. When they become 5 feet in front of you, you do something else. So with Disney, they make eye contact and smile at 10 feet. And when the guest is closer, right around 5, they say hello. These actions, they really seem like nothing, right? They should be taken for granted. However, it affects the customer's perception of service that they have received. If they don't get these things, they feel ignored. Every moment of truth is one factor that affects the brand image and contributes with how the organization is selling service. It'll eventually increase the customer's satisfaction and the revisit rate. Did you know that Disney has an 80% return rate? 80%, which means right now, today, out of the 100,000 people that are there, 80,000 people have been there before. Massive, massive return on investment in getting people to want to come back. And we need to adapt that into our businesses. Disneyland's moment of truth, or Disney World, begins when a guest enters the parking lot. Okay? When they come to park their car, and it goes from every point on from there. You see, nobody goes to Disney for the incredible parking experience. I think we would all agree. However, if they don't have a great parking experience, then things are going to go downhill from there, because Disney wants them to park quickly so that they can get in and start spending money. And guests want to park quickly so that they can get in and start having fun. If they had a bad system or a bad moment of truth when they drove into the parking lot, well, they're starting behind the 8 ball. They are not going to get as much money from that customer or guest as they would have had the parking been flawless. This is the minutia that Disney does and the level of management they have of the details. All right, so let's look a little bit more by dividing this moment into a moment of truth into personal and impersonal contact. This moment of truth, where we have personal contact, can be in any situation where you're face to face with a guest, such as when a guest is waiting in line or wants to buy a ticket or wants to, get an autograph from a character, or buys a souvenir in a shop, or even goes to the help desk to ask a question. The cast members will try to solve problems and complaints, which will make the customer want to come back. That's another big, this is a writer-downer for you. An unresolved complaint increases by a factor of 2 every single day the chances of that person not coming back. So if you don't resolve the problem today and it goes and festers until tomorrow, it is going to be twice as hard, and you're going to have to expend twice the energy or twice the money to get them to come back. If the problem persists for 2 days and you haven't solved it, now we're up to 4 times. It's just exponential from there. The key thing is resolve issues immediately. 1, you've got a much better chance of retaining the customer. 2, you're going to spend a lot less energy and a lot less money trying to fix the problem than if you let it fester for days. Customers also make judgment on service based on visual cues or visual scenes, like signs. When there is not an effective way to judge service standards, customers usually depend on making those judgments based on images, based on how the facility looked, how much trash is on the ground, what do the plants look like, what is the overall atmosphere. This applies not only to bricks and mortar and storefronts, but it applies to online as well. It applies to your website, to your cart that you would put people through to check out. Again, another tip for you. If you haven't gone through your website as a customer to make sure everything is working, as soon as we're done today, go do that. Last thing you want to discover is that your cart doesn't work when people are trying to check out. All right. Now, we've got the customers. All right. And we've delivered our product or service. Now, what do we do with them? Right? We got the customers. We attracted them with our referrals and with our power bases. We're delivering them with experiences. Now, what do we do? Well, I have the answer. Now we got to keep them coming back. We have to create a titanium fence around them to keep them from escaping. And just as importantly, to keep our competitors out. You see, when it comes down to this, you have exactly one job. Your customers don't have any. Remember, it is not your customer's job to remember who you are. Just because you gave great service or your widget or your flubbity gibbet thing that you sell is great. No, that is not enough. It's not your customer's job to remember who you are. It is your job to remind your customers why you exist. Okay? If you do not do this, the next time they need your product or service and they can't remember your name, which they won't, they're going to go to Google. And in this case, Google is not our friend. Unless you're the number one on Google, every search, they're going to pick the number one guy and go get that product or service from them. So you need to be able to remind your customers why you exist in between your services or in between your purchases. So one of the things that I like to do is postcards. Yes, postcards still work. This postcard happens to be a 9 by 12. The thing is enormous. Okay, you can't miss this. And it's for a $47 off. This is my 6th month reminder. So if you haven't cleaned with us in 6 months, you'll get this card. And then, if you haven't cleaned with us in 9 months, you're going to get this postcard. And if you haven't cleaned with us in 11 months, you're going to get this postcard. And if you haven't cleaned with us in almost 12 months, you're going to get this postcard. You continue to get postcards and letters from me until you clean again. And I have an entire sequence ready to go to cover almost 24 months. Okay. This one is the 18-month one. And this is the last card that they get, which is the 24-month reminder. And we're pretty much blatantly saying, look, if you've got dirt and dessert and all sorts of creepy crawly stuff growing in your carpet, now's the time. Okay. For your carpet, even skip you, for your carpet's health, call us before it's too late. So each one of those coupons, each one of those postcards really created more and more urgency because that's what we did. I also use newsletters. Okay. I have a newsletter for each one of my businesses, one for the bricks and mortar side, for the carpet and mold remediation side, and one for my coaching and consulting. Send out these newsletters monthly. Oh, Vance, I don't know what to write about. Well, you know what? There is stuff all around you. All right. I took a picture of this cup. All right. It's a plastic cup and it says luxury on there. Does anybody see how disjointed that is? What hotel company has to print the word luxury on a plastic cup? I don't get it. Or this idiot at a trade show. That guy sitting down is actually the dude running the booth. All right. He's got no socks on, a t-shirt, and his booth looks like hell. And he wants to know why he's not selling anything. Literally, that is the guy. I've talked about him before. I'll call him out every day because he looks like crap. Or you can do what I did recently, which were the giant snails that have invaded Florida. Look out, Florida. Giant snails are coming. They eat concrete. So these are house-eating snails, and they're invading Florida. You can find stuff to write about anywhere. Maybe you go on a trip right? So this is a picture of a group of child care center owners that I took to Disney. I took 100 of them. We had to split the groups up, but I took 100 child care center owners to Disney for my boot camp. And so I was able to use that in my news. All right, so this customer keeping stuff, what do I got to do? Well, you should be emailing your list at least 2 to 3 times a week. You should be sending postcards at least monthly, and your newsletters at least monthly. Maybe even send them gifts, all right? But you're going to really have to segment your list. And then there's that thing called the phone, okay? That app that's on your handheld device that nobody uses anymore, all right? When I was growing up, phones were the thing that were attached to the wall. Now it's just an app on a handheld device. Not even, I can't even call it a phone anymore. But call your customers. All right. So we're now at the point where we can raise your prices without losing a client. See, I had to set all that up because if we're not doing those first 3 things, there's no sense in raising your prices. So now that we have attracted the customers and we've delivered our product or service, and we've managed to keep them within our realm, within our world, now we can raise your prices. And ultimately, profit is the only valid metric for judging a company, for guiding a company. And there are only 3 ways to influence profit. Number 1 is price, number 2 is volume, and number 3 is cost. Of these 3 factors, prices get the least attention, but have the greatest impact. I never get this. Anyway, the price a customer is willing to pay, and therefore the price a company can achieve, is always a reflection of the perceived value of the service or product. You got to give people what they want. And this is what is ignored by 95% of business owners. This is the most back to basics fact about pricing, and most of you ignore it. But it never hurts to have more and varied verification of the most fundamental fact about price. This time I got it from the food service industry, okay? In this economy, right now, today, only 14% of consumers look for the cheapest items on a menu before deciding what to order. 14%, that's it. In the face of these facts, or this fact, most restaurant chains, the management, and the independent restaurant owners, they quibble and quip and fret over price. They toss away profitability to slash prices. They compete on price. They advertise on price. I drove past a sign the other day for Cracker Barrel. We have 20 meals for under $12. Geez, how do you make any money doing that? All right. So we don't want to do this. 86%, we're flipping this around, 86% of people are not making their dining decisions based on price. So why not sell to them? Sell to the 84% and let the 14% go pound sand somewhere else. Don't even bother marketing to them. So as you know, Disney's been a part of my life since the Magic Kingdom's grand opening. All right. Much has remained the same since 1971. But like any thriving business, they continuously evolve. And the theme parks there have always used some type of package option. During the early years, we purchased park admission. Tickets were like $3.50 for adults and $1 for children. But that only covered the entrance fee. You also had to buy books of tickets. The best rides were classified as E-rides, priced at a big whopping 90 cents a ride. The least popular rides, the A rides, were 10 cents per ride. The booklet never got home where none of the E tickets were left, and we'd always have a few A, B, and C, and even D rides kind of flapping around in the coupon book, but not one E ticket was left. Of course, you know, some of them made it home untouched, but to my relief, they restructured in 81. Excuse me. Disney eliminated the ride classifications and went to package pricing. Now, when Disney first opened, a family typically spent under $300 for a vacation, which, by the way, a day, which in today's dollars is about $2,100, $2,100. Disney's price strategy now positions them as a premium priced product. The company realizes many families simply cannot afford the price of admission, and they accept this fact. On the other hand, plenty of people happily pay for the Magic Kingdom experience. They know their ideal client. Their customers, known as guests, expect a memorable experience. And although their prices steadily rise, customers continue to walk through their gates. So what is this secret weapon? It's all about following the leader of Disney using packages. Packages are Disney's secret weapon. This singular move significantly increased their revenue. Here are 3 ways that Disney's price strategy has increased their profit margins. 1, it gets new customers. Okay, these all-inclusive hotel and theme park options, vacation packages, food packages, etc. It gets them to spend more. Guests staying at one of the Disney properties spend more money than tourists off-site. So get them staying on-site with a package. Frequency, selling memberships, annual passes, state resident discounts, etc. Encourage guests to visit more often. So their packages, this is brilliant. First, they offer a variety of options. Each package combines a hotel with park entrance fees, but that's where the similarities end. The price-sensitive guests opt for the budget packages. The majority of guests opt for the mid-tier resort packages. Of course, the luxury packages appeal to the money is no object guests. Disney does not leave any money on the table. Then, of course, there's upsells and cross-sells and downsells. Upsells make things easy by adding a meal plan onto your package. A downsell would be, well, if none of these packages appeal to you, then maybe you'd like our a la carte options. And then, of course, cross-selling. The Disney experience extends beyond the traditional Magic Kingdom. Which other parks on the property do you plan to visit during your stay? And certainly geography and time sensitivity. When can you use these tickets? Where can you use them? One of my favorite marketing tactics is using the LTO, the limited time offer. It is great for moving stock, creating scarcity for services, etc. Disney has proven that an ideal client is not price sensitive. They invest in the experience and service. What works for them works for you too. Are you ready to follow Disney's price strategy and build a highly profitable business? If you follow my step-by-step recommendations, you can continue to grow while keeping your passion alive. Discover how to get paid for what you're worth and attract clients who appreciate your value. Let's take a look at a couple quick examples. Let me ask you this. Type this in the chat for me. How much does a can of Coke cost? This is a very harmless question, but it defies a simple answer. If you were to go and buy a can of Coke right now in your neighborhood, how much would it cost? No, really, type it in the chat there in the questions area. Yeah, you can do it. $4? All right, I'll do it for you. $3, $4, go down to the 7-Eleven, go to the grocery store. Well, let me tell you, these price differences are enormous, and it depends on where you buy them. From the soda machine to the mini bar, it's not just a 5 or 10% increase, but over 400%. All right. It doesn't take much to figure out why the differences are so huge. If you go and buy them at a grocery store, they're going to be dirt cheap. They're like 50 cents each. But if you go to a train station, they're going to be a lot higher. If you go to get on the train, the cost of that Coke is going to be even higher. And once you get to the hotel mini bar, you're paying $9 for a can of Coke. $9. So this is called place strategy. Where you sell your product dictates the price. All these places, it's the same stinking can of Coke, just different places. So they command different prices. So this is the single most thing you can do. The single most profitable action you can take is to increase prices. And I'm going to show you mathematically right now why this is true. So let's do some simple math for a tool manufacturer. Let's say it costs $60 to make the tool, which is then sold for $100. Let's say they've got fixed cost, insurance, salary, marketing, all that stuff is 30 million. And the company currently sells 1 million tools. With simple math, that's a revenue of $100 million a year. The total costs include the hard cost times the number of tools plus fixed costs, yada, yada, yada. That gives us a profit margin of 10%. Every business always says they need more leads or more customers. Well, let's see what a 5% increase in customers will do to the bottom line. It only increases it 18%. You only get an 18% increase if you just increase the number of transactions you do. So that whole I need more leads, I need more customers thing is a myth when it comes to profitability. Every business always says they need to cut costs. Well, let's see what a 5% decrease in hard costs will do to the same bottom line. So we'll start with the same baseline, $60 fixed costs, and that profit of 10 million. Let's decrease our costs by 5%. Well, we were able to reduce our hard costs down to 87 million. That was a 26% increase in profitability. Not bad, but it's only 26%. Finally, let's say you increase your prices by 5%. Increasing your prices by just 5% boosts profit by an astonishing 50%. And you didn't have to work harder to get it. A 50% price increase just by raising your prices 5%. How easy is that? Put a yes in the question box if this is easy. Say, yeah, easy, easy peasy. Where are my easy peasies? No easy peasies. Okay. All right. That's fine. We'll go with that easy peasy. So imagine, if you will, commanding prices 2, 5, or 7 times more than your closest competitor, and your clients ecstatically, cheerfully, and willingly giving you money and don't even think twice about it. Price resistance is eliminated. Think about this. What would it mean to you? What would that mean? How would it change your life? Imagine, if you will, your clients or patients becoming your all-powerful marketing force, creating such buzz and excitement that you can actually pick, choose, and approve your clients before you ever meet them. Hey, this is that whole client attraction thing and referrals that we talked about. Imagine, if you will, being the one business in your city or town whose legendary service is raved about, like a 10-year-old returning from Walt Disney World. What would it mean to you if you had customers who generated, or your service generated, walk on burning coals loyalty like Disney has? Well, look, we don't have to imagine, okay? We just need to look at what it would mean to you, all right? What would it mean if you were able to do all that? Double your price. What would it mean to you if you just increased your prices 10%? Do the math on it. Math doesn't lie. It's a wonderful thing about math. I don't do much of it. I don't do higher level math, but this basic math shows you if you can increase your prices 5%, you can more than increase your profitability by 50%. So what does this mean to you? All right, think about that. So I'd like to offer you, I told you I'd give you a quick offer, nothing to sell, nothing to buy, but I do want to be able to give you my help on your business every month. So if you're a business owner doing at least $20,000 a month, you might be just one strategy, tactic, or tool away from doubling your lead flow, your revenue, and your impact. And if you go to this real quick website, which is deliverservicenow.com/11min call, it's 11min call, we're going to have a very quick, guess what, 11-minute call where we're going to brainstorm and come up with an implementation plan for you. In this fast-paced 11-minute call, we are going to do the following. We're going to take a look at your marketing, your service, and your retention systems and see what is or isn't working. We're going to review your niche, your offer, and your pricing to identify what is possible for you in the next 90 days and beyond. We're also going to uncover the #1 bottleneck preventing your growth and holding you back from scaling. And finally, we're going to develop a 3-step action plan that will get you results in your business ASAP. So all you got to do is go to deliverservicenow.com/11min call, get on my schedule. It could be the best 11 minutes you ever spend, get some information that is really going to be able to scale your business. So I have a few minutes left before the top of the hour. I will certainly open it up for questions. If anybody has questions, go ahead and drop them now into the Q&A. I don't have any way to unmute you, but go ahead and type them in. I'm going to grab a drink of water while you're contemplating. And if there's no questions, we're going to finish 3 minutes early. Going once, going twice. All righty. Well, we'll finish 3 minutes early then. So if you want to get on my calendar, deliverservicenow.com/11-minute call, we'll go ahead and we'll do the 11-minute brainstorm and implementation session. Can you send? You have a price protection question. Okay, well, we got 2 questions here, one from Shelley and one from George. Let me see what happens with this button. Whoops, nope. Can you, oh, George. Okay, we got a lot of like partial questions. Let me see here. I'm going to try this. Shelley, you were up first, so I'm going to unmute you, Shelley. And you can ask your question. Shelley, you are now live. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Vance, thanks for taking my question and appreciate this info. I had a lot of phone calls and interruptions during this presentation, and I would love to be able to listen to the whole thing again. Are you going to be able to send a like a copy of the audio file or anything?
Yep, we'll have a replay posted later this afternoon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope all's well with you.
I'm getting better. I'm still alive.
Good to hear, good to hear. All right, George, I'm going to unmute you.
Okay, hey, Vance.
George, how are you? Good to hear you.
Good, good. You too. Hey, so I have a high ticket item, and one of the promotion items I'm doing is that if anyone were to subscribe now, I'm sort of locking in a founder's price for them. So I guarantee that I won't raise the price on them. Is that a bad idea?
No, it's a great idea.
Okay.
It's a great idea. Yeah. When I first started my inner circle, I priced it, and I still have, I don't know, probably a dozen people in what we call, the founder's rate. And yes, it's and use that in the marketing. So when you're marketing this thing, say, hey, look, I'm launching it now. You're going to get in at the founder's rate. The minute the founder's rate is over, and you need to set a deadline for it, the minute that rate is over, it's going to go up $20, $50 a month, whatever it is. So get in now. Yeah, 100% you should use that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, George. Marie, you're up next. You ready to go live, Marie? Whoops, where'd she go? She disappeared on me. Well, we're not going to answer Marie's question. All right. Anybody else? Okay, so Richard. Oh, Marie's back. Maybe she's back. Maybe she's not back. Don't know why she disappeared. All right, let me find you. Hang on, don't go anywhere. You're not in this list. Hang on. I'll figure it out. I know I'm certainly challenged here, but bum, bum, bum. Well, you're in the Q&A, but you're not in my participant list. I'm sorry, Marie. Why don't you send me your question and I'll answer it live just for you. If you want to go ahead and email me, or actually, if you want to just get in on the 11-minute call and ask your question, I'd be more than happy to do that there. Richard Terry asked the question, service commodity type business. How would you adapt this for a remodeling business? Richard is like the king of kitchen and bath remodeling. If you live in the St. Louis area, highly recommend him. But yeah, certainly. I mean, Richard, I mean, I know your business pretty well. You've got a lot of room for price increases just based on the services you provide. I mean, you are a service business. Okay. You deliver kitchens, you deliver culinary design centers, I believe is what you call them. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, you can, I mean, your overall service package, you can certainly price it how you want. Are you going to be able to get, $400 for a toilet seat? No, probably not. But you should be able to get some kind of multiple, some kind of percentage increase over everybody else on what it costs to install the toilet seat. So yeah, I think there's definitely prices or places that you can increase prices that are, at this time, maybe it's, kitchen sink or some kind of plumbing or a fixture, they all have, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and really look at those prices and kind of gauge. Probably don't have much wiggle room on those, but on the overall package, your overall price, yeah, I definitely think there is some wiggle room. Denise Abraham wants to do a Disney booth. Denise, are you still on the line here? Let me let you. All right, Denise, I'm gonna. Oh, Marie, can you say something, Marie? I see you up. Oh, she disappeared again. All right, Denise, I'm going to open up your mic.
Okay. Yes, this is Denise.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks. What's your question?
Okay, I wanted to set up like a concession stand at one of the Disney sites. Now I heard that there are opportunities to do it through Universal. I don't know if it's the same thing apply for the Disney's locations. I'm not sure how it works. Could you give me like a breakdown on that, please, since you have experience within the fields?
Yeah, so Denise, yeah, they the only place they do that is at Disney Springs. That's where all of the third-party vendors are. And yeah, they've got food trucks there and attendants and concession stands, all owned by individual businesses. So I can try and I think I still have a contact. I can try and get that to you if you like.
Okay, that will be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, sure. All right.
Do you need my info by chance? Or you have my
Nope,
info
I just
already?
wrote myself a note to send it to you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All set. You're very welcome.
Okay.
Hit that one. Marie, I still have you unmuted if you want to try and say something.
Can
I
you
see
hear?
you typing.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay, cool. So it was great meeting you at the Small Business Expo, and I read through some of the information that that little free PDF that you sent. So I actually tried to raise my prices a little bit, and with 2 clients, and they both balked so much that I just backed down. And I mean, I was really not even raising it a lot. So, I'm just wondering what you recommend there in terms of, do I back down now and just let it go and leave them where they are? I feel like I really tried, and then I was like, oh, I can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. So then I just, all right, whatever. I just left it.
Yeah. No, sure. What product or service do you sell?
I do digital menu boards and digital billboard advertising for local small businesses.
Yeah, I remember talking to you. Yeah, I mean, certainly, I mean, the actual billboard, it probably got a fixed cost to it, and they can probably go find it somewhere else, that message. However, similar to what we talked about a few minutes ago about packaging, is, what are, can you, and I don't know if you were at my talk on Friday, where we talked about, commodities. And if you're a commodity or viewed as a commodity, you do not control pricing. The marketplace controls it. So if you are in a commodity market, which you are, so is carpet cleaning, so is kitchen and bath remodeling. Those are, those are commodities. However, once you begin adding things to the package, do you have add-ons? Here's one thing you can do, is go and find 7 things that people absolutely hate about your industry. What are 7 things that people absolutely despise about the digital billboard marketing industry or the billboard industry? I mean, it could be, I mean, I don't know what it is, saying, giving us one contract, delivering on another, or, whatever some of the underhanded things are. And then you create a list of those things and you say, we don't do any of them.
Okay.
Now I do this with my carpet cleaning business. I do this with my mold business. I do this with my consulting business. So like for my carpet cleaning business, I got a list of 10 things and I literally give the questions to the customer. I say, look, here are 10 questions you should ask any carpet cleaner before you allow them into your home. If you can find another carpet cleaner that can answer yes to all 10 questions, like I have, I will, please go with them and I will pay for the carpet cleaning.
Wow.
I know, I've been doing this for 12 years. In 12 years, nobody has been able to find another cleaner that can say yes to all 10 questions. Immediately, what you want to become is a apples to oranges comparison. You don't want to be able to be compared to any of your competitors. So if you can put things in the package, like, I mean, it could be something as simple as we do daily drive-bys of all of our billboards to make sure they're working. And we sit there with a stopwatch to make sure every ad is getting its, fair airtime. I don't know if that's a problem in the industry or not.
Yep, it is.
So, and that could be one of the things that you say, you know what? None of our competitors do this, but we do. And so you're no longer justifying your price, okay? Because that once you get into justification of price, you get into arguments and it's a losing battle. Now, if you can package stuff on, and you know what? Raising prices on current clients ain't easy, okay? I get it. But if you can say, hey, look, by the way, maybe you grandfather them in, but now you offer package, you're at package A. Maybe you would like package B, which includes this, that, and the other thing.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you don't already have a good, better, best setup for selling the billboards, I would do that. I mean, every system I've got good, I got better, and I got best. And of course, the price goes up with each one. And most people actually take the middle package, which is beyond bizarre, but they figure, well, he's a nice person. I'm not going to be cheap and buy the lowest package. I don't really want to spend all that money. So I'm going to go with the middle one.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Sure. My pleasure. Talk to you soon, Marie.
Bye.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Well, we are after our time. I will send everybody an email when I get the recording posted. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time. I am so happy that you are here, and I will talk to you all on the next call. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.